Hello and welcome back. And today we are going to discuss about the unsupervised learning machine learning models. So in the previous lectures, we have discussed about the supervised machine learning models where the tagged data was provided, where the data was provided with the labels, right? For example, the input variables and the corresponding output variables both were provided to you. So that comes under the supervised learning when you provide such kind of data where the data is tagged, properly labeled. Okay. And what is unsupervised learning? In case of unsupervised learning, what we do, we don't provide any label, right? We don't provide any label, and machine has to learn the basic pattern. What is the basic pattern there? For example, suppose you have been provided some kind of balls, right? I have given you few balls, right? Some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger, right? Some of them are having some other color, red, say, for example, few of them are green color balls, right? So I am providing different kind of balls to you, and then I'm telling you that you have to just cluster these balls. I mean, you just need to collect these balls in such a manner that the balls having the similar characteristics should be grouped at the one location. You should put all those balls at the one location which have the common characteristic. For example, all of them are having same color, like green color. Then you can have the second collection or the second group where the balls are having the different color, or you can have another collection where the balls are having the different size, right? Some small balls are there, some big balls are there. So those are the things that you can do, that is known as the clustering, right? You cluster the balls. I have given you few balls. I have told you that you just group these balls based on their common characteristics. I told you, and based on the characteristics you will find out what are the basic characteristics. You will identify yourself that what are the characteristics based on the pattern. What is the pattern? Pattern could be the color, pattern could be the size of the ball, and based on that you will be able to just group them into different clusters. So this is known as the clustering, right? And when we utilize this capability, when we build this capability in a machine learning model, so that it can create the cluster of different set of objects, then it is known as the clustering machine learning model, clustering ML model, right? So what we do in the clustering ML model? In the clustering ML model, we just collect the objects with the similar characteristics, same characteristics in one group, right? So the machine learning model, which are based on the clustering machine learning model, what they do, they find out the common characteristics to group few of the objects into a certain group, into certain cluster, right? So this is called the clustering machine learning model. So in this case, what we do, we provide the data, but we don't provide the label, right? So you need to remember this thing. We provide the data, but without labels. Labels means the target variable. What is target variable? If you have the equation y is equal to mx plus c, then x is the dependent variable. Sorry, independent variable, iv, and y is the dependent variable. So in data, you are just providing the dependent variables. Independent variables. The independent variables which can take any value, and you are not providing the final value, which is the target value. And what you are expecting, that based on the independent variables, you need to find out a pattern to group certain records into a certain cluster, right? So this is known as the unsupervised clustering machine learning model. Okay. So in case of unsupervised clustering machine learning model, where they are useful to cluster a few of the images based on certain characteristics. If you get some images and if you have to just classify them based on some characteristic, then you can prepare such kind of machine learning model, right? So for the clustering, you need to use this. Okay. And what is the difference between clustering and classification? We have studied about the classification model as well. This is not classification what we are talking about. Classification is done under the supervised machine learning models, and that when you prepare that model, you provide a tagged data or the labeled data. But in case of clustering, unsupervised machine learning model, you don't provide any labeled data, you don't provide the target value, right? You just provide the independent variables, some set of independent variables, and you let the machine or your program to identify the specific pattern to group them into certain categories, right? So this can have different use cases like classifying the objects, identifying the objects, right? Or clustering the objects, right? Not classifying, basically clustering the object, just to collect at some, under some category. So categorization by the machine learning itself, by the machine itself, let it learn and then categorize the things into different categories based on their characteristics, just to identify the different categories based on the characteristics. That is where the unsupervised machine learning clustering model is useful. So just remember two things: that clustering that we have talked about is all about the unsupervised machine learning model. Clustering is all about the unsupervised machine learning model, UMLM. And what is classification? We already discussed classification. Like, what was the example of classification? The spam mail identification, the non-spam identification, right? So ham and mail identification, that was under the classification machine learning model. So that was supervised machine learning model. Okay. So this is how you can identify. And this is what about the clustering machine learning model is, right? So if you just prepare your supervised machine learning model, unsupervised machine learning model, which is a clustering model, then in that case, what happens that you get certain group. Okay, so the data point are grouped into different groups. They are concentrated at some specific location on the x and y axis, or maybe more accesses are there based on the different variables. It can have more accesses, but yes, they will be concentrated. Some data will be concentrated at some location, some other set of data will be concentrated some other location. So this is how it works. So this is the clustering. Okay, in the next video we are going to discuss about the association. Till then, have a nice day and bye bye. Thank you.